You might be wondering why it is that I asked if we could have a round table of journalists to discuss the issue of media freedom. And I want to explain that. But first of all, I want to say how very proud I am to be discussing this issue in Romania, and how proud I think you can be, because 30 years ago, you were a country that knew what it was like, in a way that no one in Britain did, not to have a free media. And you lived with that, and you could see the pernicious influence on society. I think there's a saying that there was no pravda in izvestia and no izvestia in pravda. And since then, you have completely transformed yourself into a country which has one of the freest presses in the world, and you make life a complete nightmare for your politicians, as our media does in the UK. But actually, you understand that this is absolutely central to being a free and open society. And in the UK, we obviously have to fight hard for the British national interest in all sorts of areas, but we also think it's important to lead campaigns of global significance, whether it's issues like climate change or sexual violence in conflict. And one of the issues that we've become very concerned about is media freedom. And this, I think, came to everyone's mind with the murder of Khashoggi in Istanbul last year, which was a terrible, terrible incident. But actually, when you start to look at the figures, last year, 80 journalists were killed across the world in the course of their work. Around half of those deliberately murdered. 60 journalists are currently being held hostage. 348 journalists were arrested and taken into captivity because of their work. And I think that we are moving to a world in which the invisible line between open societies and closed societies is the freedom of the press to scrutinize those in power. And this is not something we can take for granted. And perhaps for the 40 years after the fall of the Berlin Wall, we all were in a comfort zone that this was obviously the way the world was going, and the achievements that we made are secure. I think now we're recognizing we can't take that for granted. So I really wanted to have an opportunity to come and listen to you about how a free press functions, to salute what you do to defend a free press in Romania, which I think is a huge achievement, but also ask how you could work with us and with other countries to defend the cause of media freedom around the world. I think my objective, if someone said what is the objective in this, is that I would really like to make it an international taboo for a journalist certainly to be killed in the course of their work, but also to be detained. I would like countries that are considering doing that to feel that it is going to make them a focus of huge international attention, and that this is a step that they therefore shouldn't take. And we're going to be hosting a conference, an international conference on media freedom in London later this year. I think we're going to be hosting it jointly with Canada. Like, we've got the Canadian ambassador here, and I'm due to have a call with the Canadian Foreign Minister in the next few days to confirm that. But Canada has been a big champion of media freedom as well. So we've also got from the UK, the editor of the New Statesman, Jason Cowley, who I think it's testament to my credentials, given the things the New Statesman has written about me from time to time, that I've invited Jason here. But anyway, that was really the purpose of this discussion. And so I'd like to hand it over to some of you. Who would like to be brave and be the first? Please, if you could just say who you are and...